All right, so the next pair Christian sent was Nzdcad. He said I should also look at this Nzdcad and drop my bias on Nzdcad. So the first thing I have to do is to go to monthly time frame. You know, I told you guys that whatever setup I'm looking at for in this particular lesson, you don't expect it to hit TP that very particular day. It can actually take 2 days to hit TP. It can even actually take 2 or 3 days to get to the zone before dropping in our favor. Okay, and then let's try to understand what exactly Nzdcad is doing. So this is Nzdcad on a monthly time frame. As you can see, price has been bearish. Price has been selling. It has been selling. It just looks like we had a BOS here. You can see it looks like we had a BOS around this level, a break of structure. And all this thing looks like a correction down to this a particular POI around this level. Don't worry, I'm going to expand it very soon. The particular POI around this level. You can see this POI. Let me show you guys very well. You can see this candle here. There's a particular candle around this level. And I feel that this candle is actually trying to draw price back to it before price will now be bullish again, or maybe before price start going up. If I plot my Fibonacci retracement to from this lowest point up to this highest point, you will see that this particular POI around this zone is a 61% Fibonacci retracement tool, which means that if price gets to this level, there's a higher tendency that price is going to buy. So you can see when price tap into the 50%, it went up, and the funny thing is that price fell to break above this high that gave birth to the low. You can see. Don't worry that I'm marking all these things on monthly time frame. You know I don't trade on monthly time frame. I'm just using this thing as an extra confirmation to know where exactly this market will go for a very long period of time. Just like the way I show you guys on EURUSD, and you see that if price was to respect that my bearish point of interest, there's a higher tendency we will keep selling. Or if you're the type that love holding things for months, that means you have to use that zone and keep selling till price rebalance all those displacements. Okay, so you can see now we have this particular level. You can actually believe that from here we made a new high, we made a new low, we made a new high, we made another new low, and then we made another new high around this level. The next time price went down massive and broke this level. When price broke down this level, price went up and respected this level. Initially, price need to break above this level. If Nzdcad has intentions of going up, it needs to break above this level to tell us that this thing that have been selling for a long period of time has shifted in structure, but that never happened. And that is because we are already at the 50% of the Fibonacci retracement tool. And you can see as price respected, price sold down again, and then buyers step in again. They try to go up yet again. Price fell to break above this high. Price sold again and even had to spike. Let me remove the fib. Okay, let's remove the fib, and then where is this? So, and even price had to spike inside this internal structure. You can see price spike inside this internal structure, and after price spike in this internal structure, there was a little retracement again, and after this little retracement, price is now selling. So with all this thing in place, with us seeing all these things, that means I just have to go down to weekly, daily, 4-hour to concentrate on this leg while we aim to take out this level, probably to keep selling until price gets down to this candle, this 61% Fibonacci retracement tool. So as I'm going down to weekly time frame, I am more focusing on this leg. Okay, so on a weekly time frame, which you can see, this is it on a weekly time frame. Let me try to remove this thing, and then you can see on a weekly time frame that price is bearish. Price has been selling. It has been selling for a very long period of time. And then when we see we have something like a candle around this level, we have this candle here. The reason why I'm marking this candle is because it has a fair value gap. Okay, and it actually break a structure. So this is it. So it actually has a fair value gap, and also it also break a structure, though it has not broken the main low that gave birth to the high. But we know moving internally is how we can actually break the major high. Okay, I mean the major low or whatever. So when we go down to daily time frame, let's try to expand what's really going on and to see whether there's a higher tendency for us to keep selling all the way down to this level. Do you know how many pips from here? from this very particular POI down to this level. This is around 600 pips. So this is what swing traders actually do. But you know that you can't actually hold trade for this long. It depends on your experience, or you can actually be catching your 1:4, 1:4, 1:3, all those kind of thing. But you will not be selling with direction. You will not be selling with clear direction of where you are heading to. Now on a daily time frame. Now look at it on a daily time frame. So you can see this Nzdcad had a lot of displacement. That's one problem I have with it. It has a lot of displacement. When price sold, we had a little retracement. Price sold again to the downside and broke this level. Now we have a particular point of interest here. Yeah. You can see we have this point of interest here, and this thing probably going to serve as inducement level. This is a daily time frame. Don't worry about these levels I'm marking here. I am not actually entering on a daily time frame. I am just marking key levels. Okay, and then you can see price came up a little, sold again, a little retracement, price now sold. Now making from where the current price of the market is to where this POI is extremely far. So we have to work with the one that is more closer to where price is, because if you start waiting for this, one, it will take long period of time. So we have to work with the one that is more closer to price. Now look at that one we marked. Look at that weekly POI we marked. That candle we marked where I said it has a fair value gap and it actually break a structure. You can see that structure, it broke, right? So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to refine this thing. I will pay attention to how candles reacted here, and I will mark a candle that after the candle we had a fair value gap. Like I will mark a candle that led to a displacement that gave birth to a fair value gap. Now let me bring it down to this level. You can see this is where the candle is. You can see after this consolidation, let me show you very well. Look at the candle here. Look at the candle around this level. You can see after this consolidation around this level, price sold and broke it. It was after this candle that price actually broke this particular water level, and this is going to serve as an inducement level. That is for a daily time frame. That's for a daily time frame setup. Okay, so now let's go down to 4-hour time frame to keep refining, or to see whether there is any POI around this level as well. Because you know, even from here up to this place is still very far. Let me plot this thing. Can see this 96 pips is still very far. So now let me go down to 4-hour time frame. So on a 4-hour time frame, you can see that POI we refined on a daily time frame. You can see that POI we refined on a daily time frame. Is there any need for us to keep refining this POI? Is there any need? First of all, I will want to place my order first. Let me add this thing to see whether it will cost me a lot of pips. So there on a daily time frame, and then so you can see this is just 28 pips. I believe there's no need for us to keep refining. That's 28 pips. But look, there's something that is really going on here. We have a BOS here. We have a particular BOS around this level. Look at this BOS that happened there. And then we have this particular point of interest around this level. So you can see you have this point of interest. Remember, this thing is just like a daily time frame inducement level. But you can see we have a very clear point of interest here with also an inducement level and a fair value gap. So you can see the inducement level, you can see the fair value gap, and then you are not wrong to also look for a way to sell from this level. You can see this is a 23 pips, and then you target all the way down to this level. I think that should be around 90 something pips or thereabout. Okay, you target all the way. Maybe this particular external low, you can actually target this particular external low. Don't forget that this is that 61% POI is very far. Can you see how far that thing is? So we now have here, we have this POI here, we have this POI to sell, and we also have this POI to sell. So it's up to you, Christian. I don't know how you want to approach this thing, but for me, if I was to approach this market, I'm going to place an aggressive order here, and I also place an aggressive order around this particular watch zone. So yeah, aggressive order. So I will just keep selling when price tests this level and also test this level. I feel when price gets to this level, it is going to give you a way to maybe trade stop loss to break even. Maybe my offer 1:2 or 1:3 before it will start start aiming for this external what? It will start aiming for this higher probability what zone. So this is like how I expect Nzdcad to go. As for all those ones that have displacement, it is extremely far. Even if price get to this level, honestly speaking, we will look out for change of character before we go in, which we know that if price breaks above this high and then test this level and start selling, fine and good, okay? Unless the price now broke above this high, like you see something that look like this, price does something that look like this, price goes up, break above this high, that means you will not keep buying, you know, until price get to this level. Maybe after this level, you will not keep selling until price get to that monthly time frame level, okay? So now let's check the next pair that Christian actually sent for us, okay? All right, so the next pair that Christian sent was Audchf, and I'm up to do the analysis of this Audchf to try and understand where Audchf would go for a long period of time. So most of you will be asking, what is the need of me constantly going to monthly time frame? You know, this is swing trading, okay? So we just have to have a long-term direction, like we need to see or we need to be able to predict the long-term direction of that very particular pair. Okay, it's very important. That's why you see I went to monthly time frame for Euro USD. I discovered that price is at the 78, and I'm looking for a way to keep selling because the higher time frame seems bearish, and now we are now stuck in a point where we have a bearish POI to keep selling to the downside, or a 4-hour time frame bullish POI to look for a confirmation to buy. That's what we are in on Euro USD, and that buy is temporal because until price get to that bearish POI I marked. Then on that Nzdcad, which I still show you guys, price just tested the 50%, and then we see that the buyers they are not really they are not serious. So that's why we are still more focusing on sales until those two bearish points of interest are taken before we will now know that there is no need for price to get to the 61. So here on Audchf, let's try to break it down to understand where Audchf will go for a very long period of time. So here on a monthly time frame, so we go to monthly time frame to try and understand what Audchf will do. So we can see that Audchf is bearish. Price has been selling for a very long period of time. Even if they ask you to spot the POI here on Audchf, we can see we have a particular point of interest around this level. See, we have a point of interest here. We have a bearish point of interest around this level. I think something that look like this. Let me just try to plot my Fibonacci and show you from this high down to this lowest point. So as you can see, from this high down to this lowest point, and we can see that price is trending at what they call it. Price is currently trending at just a premium level. Okay, so what is going to happen is this is a monthly time frame. Oh, this is a monthly time frame. We have seen here as our key level. We have seen as our key level where we expect Audchf to continue the long-term sales. So let's go down to weekly time frame to see whether we can see a counter trend POI, or maybe we can see a trend continuation POI to keep selling, despite we know where the long-term sales can actually start from again. But let's go down to weekly time frame. Here on a weekly time frame, we can see how it looks like on a weekly time frame. Price has been consolidating here. Price has been consolidating. I can't see enough information here, so we have to go down to daily time frame. So here on a daily time frame, we can see here on a daily time frame, see what this Audchf has been doing. There's a very good order flow I have been seeing here. You can see on this daily time frame, price just respected here. After respecting here, price again printed this particular level, respect it again, and after respecting it again, price again gave this particular POI and still respected it. Now we can see after this BOS here, after this BOS, there was a full retracement up to this level. Then now price now sold. And when price sold down to this level, it failed to break this particular level. It failed to break this level. Can you get me right? It failed to break this level. Now, remember what we saw on a monthly time frame. Remember what we saw on a monthly time frame. Price is currently at what they call it at a monthly time frame premium levels. It's currently at 23% and 31%. So selling at that level doesn't really make sense because you will see a little sell, price will reverse. But we know that thing is a monthly time frame. It can be a massive trend on a 4-hour time frame or on a 2-hour time frame, which we have now. We are still on a daily time frame, and we have seen how price is behaving. So Now the price respected this level and now sold. Why is it not taking out this level? That should be the first question. Why is price not taking out this level? Why is now the price has respected this level? Why is it not taking out this low? That should be your number one question. Now the price respected this level. Why is it not taking out this low? Okay, so since price has failed to take out this low, there are one thing we have to know. We have to know that there is a bullish sentiment entering. Okay, so on a 4-hour time frame, we can check out for an early counter trend POI. Remember, I told you on monthly time frame that since we are at premium level, let's see whether we can check out for a counter trend POI to start buying till price get to that discount level. And then we are now on a daily time frame, which I'm still telling you, let's see whether we can see a counter trend POI to keep buying. Okay, to keep buying until price gets to the particular what level. Okay, and then if we see any bearish point of interest here, that could be an internal point of interest. That could be an internal POI. Okay, because you know this is daily time frame. They can actually be an internal structures around this level. Okay, so even if we see that internal POI, we might want to take it because what? Because this thing is what is bearish. But when we are selling, we need to be very disciplined. If we see any reversal while we are selling, we take our stop loss to break even. Let me show you something on a 4-hour time frame so maybe you understand better. On a 4-hour time frame, which you can see, on a 4-hour time frame, Audchf sold massively to the downside like this. It even respected the order flow very well. You can see we had a respect of this level, and then we had this level here that is yet to be mitigated. We have this level around here that is yet to be mitigated. Let me keep this thing like this. So we have here that is yet to be mitigated, and then here will now serve as an inducement level. Okay, maybe you can actually keep yours like this. You can keep yours this way, maybe to minimize your risk. Okay, and then you can see this is like this one now is a trend continuation POI. Okay, this is what a trend continuation POI. This is a 4-hour time frame trend continuation POI because price is what is bearish. So we are now looking at this level to sell. You can see we are now looking at this level to sell. Our stop loss above, we are risking 21 pips. If we are to target 1:4, that should be around 84 pips, somewhere around this level. That should be around 84 pips. Now, let me show you what this Audchf can actually do. Now, if price respects this level, this is like the last bearish point of interest. Now, let me show you more. There's no other POI. There's no other point of interest. If you check, there's not. You have to squeeze this thing before you see other ones, which is other things you see here doesn't really make sense again. So as you can see, this good order flow. You can see this order flow very well. Now, this is the last POI. This is the last POI that determines whether we will keep selling again for a long period of time. If price tests this level, if price mitigate this level and start selling, there's a higher tendency that price might keep selling until it break this level. Okay, there's a higher tendency that price might keep dropping from this level all the way down to there to give a proper break of structure. But something like this can actually happen. Something like this can actually happen where you might see something like this. Price might respect this level, then comes down to this level and start shooting up. Now let me show you why. There's a particular POI, there's a particular candle I'm seeing here. See this candle here. See this candle. Let me try and shift this in a little. See this candle? It has already given a fair value gap, except on Monday morning, this fair value gap gets cancelled. If it failed to be cancelled, start pushing up to this level. This candle should be an area of concern for you. Let me show you that on 2-hour time frame very well. Now on 2-hour time frame, you can see that candle. You can see there's no even need for me to mark all this whole thing. I'll just have to mark this red one. You can see there's already an internal change of character here. There's already an internal change of character around this level. Let me show you. Okay, there's already an internal change of character around this level. Don't forget what we spotted on a monthly time frame where this price is, and don't forget what is happening on a weekly time frame. Why is price failing to break a particular low? Now we are now on a daily to 4-hour where we have seen this particular bearish POI, and then we are now seeing some bullish POI print, and now we have now seen a bullish POI, like a counter trend bullish POI printing. Okay, so now this particular POI should be a concern. We have another one around this level again. We have another one here that even cleared liquidity. We have this one as well. We have this one. You can see we have the particular POI here. You can see this POI, okay, and then you can see an inducement level again around here. I think I will even have to be looking at this level more importantly. Okay, I will even start looking at this level. I will even have to be looking at this level. So let's say anything like this happen, you sell from this level. You can see from here. If price mitigates this level and start dropping, our 1:4 is somewhere around here. Our 1:4 is somewhere around here. So meaning if price is dropping from this level all the way to this low, you have the opportunity to look out for change of character first before you go in for a buy or sell, or for a buy, or maybe you enter aggressive. But why are we not even advised you to enter aggressive the moment price has tested this level? Is because this is a counter trend POI, and any counter trend POI that price failed to pick up before getting to a discount level, there's a higher tendency that price may come back to it and take you out before moving in your direction. So the best thing here for me to do is to look for a way to sell all the way down to this level. The moment I've made this 1:4, and then around this level, you can risk aggressive or you can wait for confirmation. So it's up to you. For me, I will have to wait for confirmation. But if this thing return back to this level, let's say it does something that look like this on Monday morning, test this level, comes down to this level, I will keep buying till we get up to this zone, then look for a way to sell. Okay, so this is my plan on all CHF. My number one plan on all CHF is to sell around this level and then target all the way down to this zone, except if price now have broken above this level, then this POI here and this POI here will be those zones I'll be looking forward to buy. Okay, so please, if you have this pair on your watch list, you can use the comment section to tell me what you think about this odd CHF. Okay, so let's proceed to the next pair that Christian sent.